So there's something really special in this week's Torah portion. So Beha'alotkha, we're told, right, that the whole issue with the menorah, and God tells Moses, telling Aaron, you're going to light it. And there's a classic midrash, a question, why is this week's Torah portion with the menorah attached to the last week where we spoke about all of the presidents of the tribes, that, there was the inception, the Chanukah, and all the stuff that they brought, why they connected. And there's a midrash that says that God comes to Aaron because he saw Aaron was upset about this, right? Because his tribe didn't get to be part of the inception of the presidents that brought what they brought. And he says, what are you worried about? You get to bring the menorah. You do it every morning, every night. This is amazing. And this is the midrash. And this is a classic midrash. But Nachmanides comes and says, I don't get this midrash. He says, first of all, he starts off by saying, I don't really understand why would God want to console Aaron by telling him about the menorah? Tell him about the incense, the Ketoret, what happens on Yom Kippur, right? Like really huge stuff. Why are you talking to him about the menorah, of all things? And Nachmanides gets into all sorts of different angles of trying to understand this. And then he says, rather, what is this midrash alluding to? It's all about, right? It's called the Chanukat Nesi'im. The inception of the Nesi'im reminds us of another Chanukah and another miracle that is going to happen even after the destruction of the temple, and that's going to be the candles of Chanukah, which tell us of this miracle. And Nachmanides tells us this is what this midrash is actually talking about. It's not really that God's trying to console Aaron, that's not the issue, but rather by the word Chanukat Nesi'im together with what's going on with the menorah is to remind us of a future miracle, to say that there'll be a day where there's not going to be a Bet Mikdash anymore, and there won't be sacrificial work. But there are two things that you're going to always have, and this is a blessing for the Jewish people. The lights of Chanukah, which teach us of this miracle, and Birkat Kohanim, which is another thing that we read about here, which is two things that are always going to be. So it's not so much about consoling Aaron as much as it's about comforting the Jewish people forever and always, about the blessings headed our way. Thoughts on the Torah portion of Beha'alotkha. Shabbat Shalom.